Good morning. I'm here. It is about 11 o'clock. I'm at Lehigh Gap in Palmerton, Pennsylvania. So I'm about to go up the east loop here this morning. It is a bit more exposed than the west side. So I will be showing you all of that. This is some consider it one of the hardest sections of the Pennsylvania Appalachian Trail. Coming through Lehigh Gap is very steep getting up there. So you can kind of see here at the sign, we're gonna cut right. Here we're gonna head up there. You can probably make out some of those rocks. Super rocky trail. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It has about 1,000 feet of elevation gain. Oh, this was recently burned too. You can see the damage on the trees in the lower parts. So yeah, this trail has about 1,000 feet of elevation gain, and it is about a 3-mile loop. I expect this trail to do this in no more than 2 hours. It's pretty hot today. It's like 80 degrees. But with the humidity, it's more like 90. So I tried to get out here early. Hiking at Lehigh Gap, no matter what side you do, there's a lot of sun exposure. But right now we'll enjoy being in the shade. Looks like we have a fellow hiker ahead. So from the parking lot, it usually takes me about a half hour to get up to the main viewpoint. So yeah, we'll get hiking, show you the trail. So I'm maybe a few hundred feet into the trail, and we have a right turn here. This is a new reroute of the AT as of the last few years. Trail used to go straight up this way and be more steep, but they added this little go around here, and it's nice because you're not going too straight up the mountain. So we're kind of crossing a mini boulder field here. I think it's really nice they brought us through this more gradual way. Got onto the sun. As you can see the blazes across the rock. And unfortunately, some graffiti. Never fails. Where there are lots of rocks, people will come find them and spray paint them. So we have a little glimpse of a view here. You can see Walnutport Airport out there. So I'm out here hiking today more for exercise, so I'm trying to move a little quicker, take less breaks, and spend less time looking for mushrooms and things like that. If I'm feeling up to it, depending on the heat, when I get back down and finish the loop, I might add in more elevation gain, and I might go back up the ascent and back down. So we'll see. Look at all those rocks. It's very nice. Got these cute stairs here. All right. All right, so now we are coming up to the main ascent. I might just film this whole thing. It is hot. At least there's a little breeze. I always enjoy this little part here. It's like, if you have a problem with this exposure, do not keep going because it gets more exposed. Ooh, that rock's loose. So it's a little noisy here though. They're doing construction on that bridge. It's the one downside of hiking gaps like this where that roads go through. A little noisy, but here we go. First little scramble. Loose rock, so we just have to watch our footing. And that's why it's not ideal to come down this way. So we just kind of, big step, squeeze through here. Oops, lost my balance. It is hot, guys. Starting to question my decision today to come out and hike. There's like no water here as well, so you want to bring plenty of water. As you can maybe tell, it's a very dry mountain. So now we're just gonna go up this. Nothing like a good scramble to remind you what kind of shape you're in. And then this is kind of a little scramble section. You could go straight up that, but the trail does go around. Oh, I gotta catch my breath. It's steep, it's in the sun, but we're like already almost to the viewpoint. And I mean, a lot of people will hike this and just get to the top of the rocks and come back down this way, which I would only recommend coming down this way if it's dry. And you just have to be very careful because it's loose rocks. But it's worth doing the loop. All right. Looking out over Walnutport, Pennsylvania. A little close in it here. Looks like someone came through here that tree's cut or something. Maybe open this up a little bit. So this is like the second scramble point up here. It does benefit you to do 3 points of contact. So you want to go up right here where the blaze is, and there are nice holds the whole way to put your feet and your hands. So I kind of step up sideways, grab here, step sideways. All right, you can see the exposure. You always just have to take a careful step there. Gorgeous. There is a breeze up here, thank goodness. All right, so keep going, and that's pretty much the challenging scramble there. Just have to be careful how you put your feet and grab on. All right, and here we come to the main view. It's really rocky, obviously. Ooh, thought I saw a lanternfly. If you're from the East Coast, you know those things are annoying. Okay, so we're gonna crawl up here a little bit, and then we'll see the view behind us, or I can even do one of these. These rocks are awkward and pointy. Okay, so we'll kind of stand here, and voila! We're at the viewpoint. We're looking here at Lehigh Gap. That's the west side, the Appalachian Trail, heading south. So yeah, this is the main view. I've seen a lot of epic sunsets here. Sunsets right over that mountain. It's gorgeous. I usually prefer to hike that side of the mountain because it's a little more forested and a longer hike, but this side is a fun rocky adventure. So as you see, if you want to play around, which I've done before but not today because I'm here for exercise, you can go up those rocks and hang out, and we're gonna head down this way and continue up to the ridge. So you can tell we're at this viewpoint, but we are not at the top of the mountain yet. So yeah, I'm gonna take some pictures, and then we'll keep heading up to the summit. Whew. So this is what much of the trail looks like heading up to the ridge back there. Super loose rocks everywhere. Which way do I go? This way. So you just have to really watch your footing. We're gonna go this way. This looks fun. Man, if there wasn't a breeze right now, it'd really suck. I'm just drenched already. So. Huh. Oh wow, I went the wrong way. I was like, where's my next blaze? Up here. Got a little turned around. Oh, that's why. You're supposed to come up through that way and It's all right. It's a rocky playground. Go whichever way you want. If it wasn't such a hot sunny day, I love to climb up on these rocks back here and enjoy that. Still going up for a bit. See the Lehigh River down there. Beautiful. All right, let's keep going. Trying to keep my heart rate up. You hear all those loose rocks? Okay. More rocks. So, some fun facts. This mountain and the other side of Lehigh Gap is part of a Superfund site. Back in the 80s, the New Jersey zinc mining company mined the hell out of this mountain and left it to die, essentially. And it did. A lot of the vegetation died, and the mountains used to be very bare, and now they're pretty full of life, as you can see. Over the last 40 years, these mountains have really transformed, but it's still like a super fun site. I wouldn't eat berries here or anything because of the levels of zinc and everything, but up at the top on both sides there are test plots where they were testing what plants take well to the soil and everything, so they can restore and bring this environment back to life. And it's been quite a success, I'd say. Ooh. So a little history lesson. There's a little offshoot up there. Do we want to check it out? Oh, there's not really much here. But it is worth checking out all these little outcroppings, because you never know what cool rocks or viewpoints you'll find. So yeah, I've got a couple more rock sections to cross, and then we'll be up in the pines. Pine trees seem to do fairly well here because they can grow in more acidic soil. They don't need as nutrient-rich soil as other trees. So yeah, catch up with you once we get to the top. So we are up in the pines, pretty much at the top of the mountain now. And there's an intersection to take the blue winter trail. So you can come up the mountain this way and kind of skip those scrambles. It's a little bit easier way up. And of course a shortcut down. But we are not going that way. And it is nice, that trail. It's relatively new within the last like 4 or 5 years. So it is nice. And then this is our intersection. You could turn here, but I'm gonna turn a little bit up here. So as you see, the Appalachian Trail turns right, and that'll take you out to Blue Mountain, which is a new reroute. But we are gonna go left through the ferns, and we are gonna head towards that winter trail. So, and this is nice. As you see, it is really overgrown. It gets like that up here, which again is good to see. And it's nice with some shade. So now we're hiking a bit across the ridge, and then we'll turn onto the winter trail and head down. It's a good hike. I am just drenched in sweat. So in the summer, just extra have to be careful with your footing. The way it's a bit overgrown kind of hides some of these little rocks. And if you've hiked the Appalachian Trail area anywhere, I feel like in Pennsylvania, especially northeast Pennsylvania, you know these rocks are just ankle breakers. Maybe, Ooh, I caught my hand on a sticker bush. Out. Yeah. Stop talking. Sure. Oh, sure, it's good. I'm also looking out for snakes. Rattlesnakes love to sit up here on the rocks in the sun. Always listen out for them, because they'll probably feel you coming before you see them. So you listen out for that rattle. And some say they kind of smell like cucumber. If you smell a random cucumber smell, there's probably snakes ahead. Look at how tall these grasses are. It is the beginning of July. So come end of summer, like August, these grasses will be really high. And you can see kind of one of the reasons why I do prefer the other side too. It's very grassy up here. All right. So I wanted to keep filming a little bit because we are coming up. You can see the fence there. We are coming up on a test plot that is fenced off. Grass is really high, but you could usually walk right over to the fence. Because I want to show you the sign that's on it. Maybe I won't make it over there. I just don't want to walk through the grass. Ticks. Should I do it? Yeah. Let's do it. I want to show you the sign. So we're gonna cut through, try to take the way of least resistance. Oh, hi, buddy. Okay. So, the sign reads, oop, there's a deer over there. You can read that too. You can pause the video and read it. Resource Island Areas Remedial Activity from 2011 to present. This is part of the Palmerton Zinc Pile Superfund Site Habitat Restoration. This fenced-in area contains planted woody tree and shrub species. 5 areas, total of 94 acres, are fenced in to exclude deer and rabbits. More than 16,000 plantings have been planted within the fenced area. Upon the maturation of woody trees and shrub species, these areas will become a resource of tree and shrub seed, which will spread beyond the fenced-in areas. These are regularly monitored, maintained, and replanted as needed as part of the Superfund restoration activities to meet the goals. So, yeah, these are closed to the public. And like I said, there are a bunch of these test spots on our local Superfund site. So now I'm gonna carefully, I'm not going the way I came. That was a little wild. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. I'm gonna step on like a snake. Step on a snake. Ah. Okay. So yeah, glad I showed you guys that. So we'll catch up on the trail when I start the descent, all right? I maybe walked 10 feet and then got to the intersection. So you have to be careful here doing the loop. There used to be, in this pile of rocks, there used to be a sign that pointed you down the winter trail, but this is it. There's kind of just like that rock in the middle, and you come here and the fork goes off straight, which used to be the old Appalachian Trail. And then if you go this way, yes, that's a trail. It takes you to the fire road that kind of follows the top of Blue Mountain and those restoration areas. But we're gonna turn left through this. There's kind of a rock on the ground to indicate where to turn. And here we go. Oh my gosh, wow. This is so overgrown. Gives me the heebie-jeebies because I can't see my feet. Eee. I don't like walking through when you can't see your feet. I guess I'm just paranoid that I'll step on a snake or something. But it's shady through here. No snakes so far. And yeah, so we are officially starting the descent down the mountain. Ooh, watch those rocks. I'm gonna have to do a serious tick check after this. You know, now that I'm not pushing and exerting myself up the mountain too, in the shade, it's really not that bad outside. Of course, I am part lizard though, and I love the summer. Summer's my favorite. I would much rather be profusely sweating like I was coming up the mountain than cold. I'm one of those people. Beautiful. And blue trail marker. So we're on the winter trail. Look at this beautiful pine. It smells so good. All right. On the descent through this lush fern area. Oh, so pretty. So this way kind of zigzags down the mountain. There's some loose rocks. Ooh. You know, every time I keep mentioning the loose rocks, I trip. I'm also not used to hiking in the boots I'm wearing. They're newer. I typically wear like high top hiking boots. But on like a short casual trail like this, I'm like, I can just wear my low tops. So through the Merrill Moab. Alright, and we're at the intersection of the winter trail. So if we go up that way, that's the new section of trail I mentioned earlier that you can skip. You can go up this way and skip the scrambles. I wouldn't advise it though. I know me and a lot of hikers alike, you know, we prefer to go up the steep sections, the steep short way, and then take the longer, less strenuous and steep way down, which is like the definition of this hike. I don't know, I'm feeling really good right now. Thinking about maybe that second ascent. Whew. Yeah, very lush over here. I mean, again, 40 years ago, you know, it wasn't like this at all. Even like 10, 20 years ago. I remember being a kid and like driving through this area, and the mountains are so barren, and they are, especially in the winter. They look dead. Yeah, this is so enjoyable. Making my way down the mountain. Butterfly. I don't know if you saw that butterfly. I love starting my day with a hike. It's like, can't beat it. So on this part, there are a bunch of those nice short little stair sections, which are also relatively new within the last like 5 years or so. I remember when they were put in, and I imagine at some point they're gonna do more work to this winter trail. There's just some spots with really heavy erosion and lots of loose rocks. Like, this is not bad at all. I love these trees, the way they curve and twist through the woods over the trail. And now I can hear the road again. All I'm thinking about now is that I'm glad I came out here. Well, the weather wasn't too bad. And that, what am I gonna eat for lunch? You know, towards the end of the hike when you're like, yeah, I'm ready for food. Ready for food. And here's the mountain again. West side of Lehigh Gap. Alright, so we are now down at the bottom of the mountain. That's a dead end. So when you get to this point, we just turn left to finish closing the loop. And we'll hike this nice flat section. I call it a cool down, right? But it's in the sun, so yeah. That concludes pretty much today's hike. I will film a little bit of this, especially when we get further along, because you're right next to the rocks and the fencing to hold the rocks up for the highway. Highway is right down there, the gap to drive between the two mountains. So over on that side, there is a really cute little park. It's called the Lehigh Gap Nature Preserve. And there are some nice hiking trails there too. Nothing crazy. If you want to go up the mountain, then you take the Appalachian Trail pretty much. But this mountain over here is really cool. You might be able to make out some of the rock outcroppings there, known as Devil's Pulpit. And allegedly, years ago, probably like, I don't know, 40, 50 or more years ago, allegedly the Appalachian Trail used to run straight up this part of the mountain. But it was so dangerous with all the loose rock that people were getting injured and I think dying, actually. Look at this. Very cute. That's been there forever. As long as I've hiked this, that smiley face has been there. But anyway, if you look up on YouTube, like old Lehigh Gap Appalachian Trail, there are some videos out there of people hiking it and just like sliding down like you're hiking Colorado high peaks. on the loose rock. So glad they rerouted it into the woods. The trail to get there is closed. However, the remains of the trail do still exist if you want to venture and explore it. Wow, look at this. This is the wet section on the trail. There we go. Only water on the trail. Not drinkable. Would not recommend filtering out of this part of the spring. There's a spring. Oh, this part looks okay. If you were hiking, need water, but yeah, this part, Lehigh Gap to Blue Mountain, there is no water. There is a spring up there on Lehigh Gap for AT hikers. A lot of times, local trail angels will leave water at the trailheads because this is a dry area. Look at this little guy. So cute. So this part is neat seeing. Look, there's an old trail marker. I guess you could go up that way. You could absolutely go up that way. Interesting. I'm not sure I noticed that before, unless they're putting in new little trails on this mountain. You know, I wonder if those trail markers were, maybe they were meaning, you know, keep going this way, which is evidently the trail. But they could have also meant come up these rocks and explore. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna take pictures of these little flowers. I wonder if people used to rock climb this. Well, I don't know. 'Cause they had to have blasted this out a bit to make the highway. See, there's like an 8 with an arrow. I've always wondered. 9. 10. There's a 10. Interesting. And there's arrows here. See this? I couldn't imagine scaling that. You would definitely need climbing equipment. It's vertical. 13 arrow. They must be like climbing routes or something, or for the people to do maintenance on the netting. 16, 17. I wonder. But I'm always fascinated by structures. Very cool. And a lot of the rock around here too. Oh, that bird scared me. You may have noticed is like red, and that's from the zinc pollution. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Almost back to where my car is parked. You can see that bridge that we saw from the top. So yeah, if you're ever in Northeast PA, you come hit the Appalachian Trail here at Lehigh Gap and you won't be disappointed. I am back at the trailhead. You can see the cars ahead. So I just wanted to go over my stats real quick. So according to All Trails, I did 948 feet of elevation gain in an hour and 27 minutes and just under 3 miles at 2.9. So pretty much 3 miles. And this was a great hike. Thank you for coming along with me today. I hope you enjoyed hiking Lehigh Gap East Loop with me. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time on the trail.